Community strong, dreams we link. Let's grow together, making it brighter, brighter. Unity in our stride, passions right. In the gardens of life where we plant our pride. Live with South Florida sunshine, diva in the dirt, our time. Can you see the blossoms? 'Cause here they bloom. Dance with the neighbor, dance with your friends. And in Florida's the place, gardens growing. We've got that grace. You should join us, making life better, better. Live with South Florida sunshine, diva in the dirt, our time. Can you see the blossoms? 'Cause here they bloom. Dance with your neighbor, dance for your friends. Live for the moments, join the ocean breeze. Hearts and sing. Community strong, dreams we link. Let's grow together, making it brighter, brighter. Unity in our stride, passions right. In the gardens of life where we plant our pride. Live with South Florida sunshine, diva in the dirt, our time. Can you see the blossoms? 'Cause here they bloom.
Hey, everybody. Sorry about the way the song cuts out. It's really weird the way it does that. Welcome in. Thanks, Laura. I understand. I totally remember having to do that with my mom. Actually, 2020 cut us short. Welcome in the Bud Files. Those of you who are following from the bushes, welcome in. Today, I was just going to chit-chat with you a little bit in case your child was diagnosed late, because I know they have early start in most states in the United States where it's a program for 3 and under, and they will, bring basically the help to your home. And some states, they have other programs, but kind of some of the ones that I'm talking about are consistent throughout all the United States, and its availability. And even one thing that I really want to talk to you about today that you can access is available in the United States and Canada. You would have to look it up in the country wherever you're watching from. Hey, good afternoon, RLM Herbal Ideas. Hey, Ann Haynes. Sorry, I'm having a moment. Malachi, of course, decided to have a mess for me right before actually right when I was supposed to start. I'm just grateful, I was able to change him. Hey, DCBs, welcome in. Thank you for coming in, everybody. Appreciate you and your time. But I was just letting people know who are watching the replay. Children who are on the spectrum who get diagnosed after 3 years old, it's often hard for their parents to access resources other than just putting them into school. And this is one resource that can access other resources for you, and it's quite simple. But I'm going to just wait a few more seconds. I actually was just eating some watermelon, trying to wake up again. I kept drifting into a nap today. Hey, Cool Gamer 2. But I still, after I'm done here, I'll be... Oh, no. Are you sick, Ann? I'm sorry. Or is it just allergies? I have plenty of folding, is what I was going to say, to still do. It's one of my laundry days. I have a couple. I always sneeze heavily as soon as the sun goes down. Oh, weird. I've never heard that before. That's such a different... Just because the sun goes down? I've never heard that. Maybe your system's just rebooting for nighttime. Saying hi before heading out. Okay. Okay. Cool, DCBs. Yeah, I'll try and make it. My hardest times to make it are basically before 10, even this time right now, before 5. Actually, it's before 4 because I usually have to go and pick up my daughter. Oh, I have never. That's very cool. It has a name. Photic sneeze reflex. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, between before 4, I can usually watch, and then from about 4 on till 9:30. Sometimes I can watch, but I won't be able to hear until about 10. I'll be in and out because he's up until about 10, and if he's not, then he's up at 5 in the morning, even with the help of melatonin. So that's one of the things we were seeking was to get some medication. Last time we were at the neurologist, and the neurologist didn't seem to follow through. The neurologist wanted him tested for autism, and he definitely tested that he was autistic, and he was fetal alcohol. And then it was like the ball got dropped. So I kind of got angry at that point because we've been with that office since actually my daughter was young, and I think he's just become just too busy. And most of the pediatric neurologists are like that. But then it's like the pediatricians don't want the responsibility on their shoulders to help these children, sleep or, medicate them because these kids are the opposite with medications or even suggest, natural stuff. At least the neurologist was fine with the melatonin, and he said that's fine. Let's just talk about the. Oh, okay. Okay. Totally get it. Yeah, it wasn't for years for me, and I made a kind of a mistake in heading in like that, thinking I was never gonna monetize, and then, Diva encouraged me to, monetize. Yeah, right? I know for some of those kids, it totally is, because they don't make it. They don't make it. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't either, Laura, probably. You know, only when he would just crash, I might get it, and then it might not be a good time for me now with the schedule. Hey, Storms, Radios, and Cats, welcome in. All right, well, it's actually very simple. Hey, CC's Texas Garden. So if you've come in here just now, I was letting people know who are watching this in the replay, there is a solution, at least in the United States and Canada, for children who get diagnosed late and for their family because one of them is Child Find. Child Find is throughout all of the United States. I don't know if that one is in Canada, but Child Find is where they have to find the child, like they seek them out. Not really. It's more or less the child is either in their classroom or the parent lets the school system know something isn't right, like their kid isn't learning as they should, like whether they're aware of it or the preschool that they're at has made them aware, and they can make an appointment with Child Find, and Child Find will actually do the screening um, for, I think, we had to make I think the appointment for audiology, um, and the rest was all Child Find. They were like, they needed audiology to make sure, the child isn't deaf, and that's why, that there's speech issues. So they do behavioral assessments to see, where the child is at. With my daughter, all they would say is basically she had a communication disorder. They wouldn't give me like the report that they gave for my son. That's interesting. Okay, welcome in. And the other one I want to talk about that's available in the United States and also in Canada is the 211, the network for information services that you can call. And even in Texas, it's used during storms if the elderly need help, uh, or somebody needs like evacuation from their area. I just actually saw that added in. It says in Texas, particularly in the coastal Bend area, 211 is also the number to call for elderly and disabled people needing evacuation assistance in the event of a pending disaster, such as a hurricane. 211 is for the United Way started it, and it's an info line that you can just call and ask what is available for, say, ABA therapy in your area that's covered by certain, um, I think it's Evanly. Hi, Evanly. Nice to meet you. Jen, I'm glad your cat pressed this. This is special needs parenting chat, and also it's just for those of us too who might be on the autism spectrum somewhere, like with ADHD or whatever, just a little bit different than this world thinks is normal. Yeah, right. Yes, and it is sometimes harder to help and find them help when they're higher functioning because they're not necessarily found quickly. Hey, girl, dad, welcome in. So 211, you can call and actually ask them, hey, I need this type of therapy for my child. Do you know how many we have local? And here's my insurance. And, I'm looking for, one that's covered under my insurance in case your insurance isn't being very helpful, or in case you don't have insurance, they know of all the community or most of the community programs, and they know of ones for profit, nonprofit alike, that they can hook you up with. This also includes two things for housing. Um, I believe it's also for help with rent or just your, trying to stay in where you are. It is just an overall community help link. And then for children who have disabilities, they'll ask you a few questions. They can assign you an advocate in some states. My state has an advocate. They'll check in with you. Hey, Chip Low South. Hey, welcome in. Did I miss anyone? Oh my goodness. I don't want to miss anybody. You guys are chit-chatting away. Thank you very much. If I miss anybody, I will go back to it. Because most of you know me and you know my train of thought. It's like, woo. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Thank you, Evanly. The child fine can go all the way up to actually 21. So if you can get them in at the last moment, they will do the testing for them. And the testing is a lot better than it was back in the day. Like, they just basically like, "Well, we can tell you she qualifies for, you know, special services." They wouldn't tell me what was wrong with her. They wouldn't tell me, like, her scores on anything. I think it was much later that I got, I think, the Battelle on her, and there's all different types of instruments they can use when they're evaluating for autism and learning disabilities. But, so the 211, what they will do is they'll assign you an advocate. The advocate will check in with you, and then also, I was telling the girl on the phone because I just used it recently because I, again, got a bad referral. It was for, psychiatry for Malachi because of some behavioral issues. Turns out they don't deal with any person with, severe autism. They might take the high functioning autistic children, but they won't, and they have to be verbal, but they won't take Malachi. And just take, I mean, help, like as a patient. And it was somebody there who said, "Have you ever used 211?" And I said, "No." I said, I haven't. And it's okay. It's okay. Of course, somebody delivers a package always during my lives. It's okay. It's just a package. Just sit down. Um, and I called it and I was so surprised how nice and helpful they were. And then she right away was like, "Okay, give me a moment. Let me look up what's in the area." And she gave me 2 names. The first turn that down. The first one go over there with it. Thank you. The first one was it like a hit right away. She's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, we take your insurance. We come to the house. I don't have to go there to their facility or whatever, which homeschooling, I'd rather they come here. We, all work together." And I said, "Well, I need a team because he's at the point where he needs more input than I can give him." And, um, our team disappeared basically. 2020 came and it got torn apart, and I haven't been able to put one back together because of I'll get a referral, then it's like, as the parent, you're off on your own. Well, 2-on-1 is like a godsend because right away she's like, "Well, we have an advocate and they'll keep in contact with you, and here, they will actually help you put your team together for your son." Because they know they more or less know all the different uh, oh my goodness, speech language pathologists, the occupational therapists in the area, play therapy. I even asked, like, is there, medical assistant, like a medical assistant or someone because of him still being in diapers and having that toileting issue, it's considered a medical issue. So, not that I want somebody coming in my house and changing him. I want a little bit of respite with just eyes on him. Because sometimes what they'll do is they'll send somebody like to change your child and do some of those services, but they're here for like an hour. And sometimes you can possibly get something done that you couldn't get done while they're, it's just you. So let me look at what Anne said about her sneezing. One theory is that sneezing involves an open nerve, a change in light may stimulate this nerve. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense. And I wonder if it's also with it being with the optic, but also connected to the vagus and has just a sensory overload. It causes eye tears. I don't know if eye tears though have ever made me sneeze. Hey, Dolores. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. But basically, that we called them. They're in contact with us now, so I'm busy with that. Busy with, it just got monetized, and I'm thinking, oh boy, like the worst time to get monetized. It's never the best time. Like it's like the best, and yet it's like I'm busy with so many other things that I don't know how I'm gonna get out to my garden and do that garden content. I have this content, but even this, it's like I want to be able to research for you guys more and do more for you. If you're going to put in your time here with me, I want to be able to bring in more. So hopefully I will be able to, but for a little bit, it's going to be touch and go even more so because I am going to be working with the advocate and putting a team together for him and also making sure we have all the referrals up to date. But it was just, as a parent, I understand the frustration when you go to see your pediatrician, they give you a referral and the referral is a bad referral. I've had it happen a couple times. And especially when you are really desperate for some help, it can be very disheartening. So if you are in the United States or Canada, you do have 2-on-1 to call. And if you don't like the person that you get, oftentimes they have more than one operator, so you can call back. Like if there is just the person doesn't seem like they're giving you the information that you need, or they just seem curt, whatever it might be, and you can call them back. Right? Isn't that great? I know, I was surprised they said they had an advocate. Hey, Gear, marigolds. I was a little because it was funny because I had just said to her, I said, I actually miss our case manager because she wasn't a bad case manager. She was scary because she's used to having to be really tough with these cases that she sees. But she was great in that as soon as we found out that he was delayed, she was like right away, like getting the early intervention. And some people don't find out until later and they miss the early intervention, which I believe Easter Seals runs that, I think, in most states. But if you're outside of the country, you might want to even just search Google or whatever your preferred search engine is for the equivalent to 211 in your country. And if there's any kind of social services like that available, because yeah, I'm finally at least going to have somebody working alongside of me that's familiar with the area, that's familiar with teams around autistic children. And it's like having it's not case management back because they're not coming to my house every month, thank God, and checking on Malachi and his environment and things like that. That's why when these things happen with kids in the system and they've had these horrible foster parents or foster to adopt parents, my first question is where was case management? Where were they and why were they not in that house? And then if they were in that house, how many calls were made about the family and how many like chances did they give the family because the kids had a home? Because down here, we have our issues, but I was checked on monthly, every month. Um, and he was going on family visits at that time. So it would have been noticed. I mean, everything was noticed. It seemed uh, like anything, like one little scratch was noticed and they would need to write it down. But that's because he had a good case manager. She was, dotting her I's, crossing her T's. Anyway, yeah. So if you guys are feeling down, do try and look up your 211 in your area. See also about Child Find if your child is over 3, or you might have just gotten news from Child Find and you really don't want to put them in public schools. There are usually homeschool, families that are going through the same thing. You can look up, homeschool support groups for special needs kids. I do YouTube, so I haven't been involved in those too much. I know Dolores has a friend that I've been wanting to get in contact with. It's just the timing doesn't work out for us to really chit chat. Like I said, like after 5 o'clock, I'm usually really busy because that's when my husband comes home, my daughter comes home, and things get hectic here at the house with dinner and everybody taking their showers and everything. So, anyway, it was just pretty much that information I wanted to bring you today. As far as M, yesterday he wrote 1,000 all on his own because he has this, I don't want to say obsession, interest over and over again with Curious George when he does the 1 to 100. It's a cartoon, and then he does 1,000. He adds a zero, and they end up with all these donuts at the house. Well, we've done that because that's part of early writing is the lines down and he across and the circle stop. So we were doing the 10, 100, 1,000. And yesterday he did it real light, but he wrote 1,000, not holding his pen correct. That's where the OT comes in. And that I'll be grateful to have the OT here for that. But other than that, I did a pop-up mango tasting, totally off the subject. And I was hoping to get there today, but it just didn't work out because the place is only open on Wednesday and Saturday. And yeah, the timing is just for lunchtime for 1 hour. So what have you guys been up to so far this week? I can't believe we're already on Wednesday. How are you doing with your kids, or how are you doing personally? For those of us who aren't raising kids right now, I am. My little guy is over there and he's not so little anymore. But yeah, the 2-in-1 really, I could not believe that when we adopted, they didn't make me more aware of that and what it was. Oh, don't worry about it. I've been wanting to get over and watch your stuff. And anybody who has time, Storms, how close are you to your first tier of hours, the 3,000? Because for those of you who don't know, on YouTube, when you have a channel, once you pass the 1 year, look at this, it like takes it away. Oh, let's see if I can, nope. Okay, it was taking it away. That was so weird. Uh, when you pass your year anniversary of being on YouTube, they start to take time off every day as you move forward. They take time off and it just falls off. So if you're not putting out content, then that time is just falling off with nothing to replace it. So you're missing those hours. So yeah, I need to get over and play it, but I need the laptop out when I do it. And the first 2 days of this week were not very good with Malachi because it was unusual. Hannah and I ended up being home on Monday after the concert we went to on Sunday. So preparing to start in 2 weeks, looking at once a week co-op meet for my first grade. Oh, okay. One of the things they had as an option for the co-op was if you could teach, it was reduced. And really, I don't think because I was teaching, I forget how many classes, but I was teaching in my profession, which was art. I don't remember even paying much at all. But yeah, we've done the co-op thing. The only thing that became a problem was the building was old and we were finding we were getting old building syndrome. And Hannah ended up actually catching walking pneumonia. So, but otherwise, yeah, it was great for a lot of the families. It just ended up not being good for us because of that she caught that and the old building syndrome. And then, I had a few students that were not the greatest, we'll just say, and their parents were just as bad. If so it was like, yeah, I think I'd rather not do this. Not to discourage you, it's great, if it can cover like the areas that you don't feel like teaching, it's great for that. Work on the house kitchen day. Good job. Did you do the thing with the sugar? Did you drop your sugar yet? Yeah, they are looking for teachers, but what I am supposed to do. The 4 and 3-year-old. Oh my. Yeah, you'll be fried when you get home. They had that though. They rotated the parents, the ones who couldn't really teach a subject. They did the 3 and 4-year-olds, or that might have been just what was left, and other people chose to, other moms chose to teach the subjects. So I understand because I wouldn't even do art with the preschool at my old school, like the 4-year-olds. I was like, no, 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 their curriculum is mostly art. Nope, they don't need me. They don't need me. Oh, okay. Okay, so if you haven't stormed over to Storms Radios and Cats, please do so. And subscribe and make sure you watch some of his stuff and yeah, help him to get his 3,000 public watch hours and 500 subs. That would be great. Well, care for Barry. Barry is a great supporter, and that's Storms Radios and Cats, my friend. This co-op is in a church, and they're nervous about the people, the place. Yeah, I wonder if you can ask to shadow um, someone, like, or at least be able to go there and hang out for a day. That's what we did, kind of. I knew the lady who ran it, so, and she was in need of an art teacher. But then it's like, oh, that's not in keeping with Sunshine State standards. And I was like, well, I didn't know you guys were doing the Sunshine State standards. I thought it was a co-op for homeschool. So yeah, could have clued me in that it wasn't just Sunshine State standards. It had to be Sunshine State standards so they could apply for scholarship. And that's what was on the line. Money. So I found that out after the fact. Provide the consistent group of people for him. They didn't even know. Maybe art, music. Yeah, sounds about right with a homeschool group because they're all relying on other families and parents. Not a group that does arts and crafts, but now it's the last class. Oh, I know how that happens though. It's so easy to like you that's like me. Look at where we are. This is 4 years later after, 2020 and we're finally getting help. I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Like 2020 screwed up a lot of people and it really screwed up our team, but then I also had 2 years after 2020 where my mom's need for care increased. So, uh but still 2 years and I basically felt like I was spinning my wheels and not getting anywhere. So I get it. Good job. Today, no sugar. Okay, well, I didn't go off like fruit sugars though. Like I'm eating fruit. I've got watermelon here. I'm going to go low glycemic probably next week. Um, we'll see. It might be the following week, is what I'll talk about on Friday. But for those of you who don't know, who are in the background or just visiting, or are watching the replay, Friday, I do a Feeling Fabulous Friday or Feeling More Fabulous Friday. It used to be Fibro Fridays because I've had fibromyalgia for over 10 years. I've had chronic pain longer than that. Actually, it's probably like 15 years now. I have to go back and look at the letter that the doctor gave to me because that was after the fact. He was treating me for 5 or something. Anyway, I've had it for quite a while. I'm just getting off my gabapentin that I've been on for probably 10 years or more. And I'm down to only 300 milligram at night. And hopefully, with doing no sugar, and that's what we're doing this week, it's a no sugar challenge. Um, if you like do an update on it and how you're doing, just put the hashtag no sugar and put SFS, right? All one thing. I put that, I went back and put that in the description. I'm going to hopefully copy that and put that on the next one. But yeah, bit by bit, we'll do it. Yeah. I'm probably going to keep the low glycemic fruit for quite a while. I don't know if I'm going to go full keto because my body has to burn. Either it's going to have to get into the fats and do keto, or it's going to have to just be in like a low glycemic, uh, the lower sugars to bump it up. Oh, okay, you too. Yeah, that was surprising to me, but not surprising. I thought I was dealing with something like that. My biggest thing now is this whole age thing. Like, I'm older than you. I know that, Shawnee. And the random napping at the end of the day because you're just so worn out. Yeah, but I mean, you're a young mom, but you have 3 kids, so it could hit you too. No, what are you pulling on? Malachi, don't pull on that. He's got his little mini trampoline out, and it looked like he was pulling one of the things that helps cover the edges, like it's a little loop elastic. Anyway, yeah, this random napping is, I'm sure, getting annoying to my husband too, because he'll come home, I'll make dinner, we'll eat dinner, and then he's watching TV thinking he's watching it with me, and I'm over here passed out. And what I think gets him upset is because then I don't go to bed till late, but I don't go to bed till late anyway because I am like, I have insomnia. And that's part of the whole thing with fibro and then just this time of life. But anyway, yeah, that's mostly what's going on. I've been trying to pull out my seeds too for the garden. Um, we'll see. With his team stuff again, it's like, oh, I was actually excited about maybe getting some annuals in this year. We'll see if that happens because I really have a lot of work to do out there between all the things that have grown that don't belong there. Just say plants out of place, maybe instead of saying weeds, because some of them are usable. I might try the beans actually for our season. We can plant all the nightshades, which I'm a little leery. I'm gonna look through my tomatoes and see if I have a paste tomato, or I think I have a plum or a marzano. If I have those, I might plant those, but just to see if I can actually grow enough to make any kind of sauce out of it. Other than that, I have no interest because they get eaten alive down here because we have the hawk moths like everybody else does, but it seems like we have them in abundance down here. In fact, one was on my inside screen yesterday, and I don't even have tomatoes growing. And those are the hornworms. So, but what we have is all the nightshades plus uh, you can grow your squash and the Seminole pumpkin is what I'd like to grow too. The pumpkins. Oh, you too, Anne. Have a great night. And I hope those people leave you alone, whoever was bothering your channel. But those green beans that are the asparagus green beans, they seem to just grow really well here. So if I can set up something for them to grow on, I might do that. I'm still trying to decide what to grow on my archway. I did get seeds for um, a plant that I like that's a vining plant, and I don't want to say what it is until I like reveal it, like what I got. But I'm not sure if I even want that like on the archway. Like I don't want the I just sound stupid, but I don't want the archway ruined. Like because that was a gift from my mom and dad pretty much for the garden. My dad vicariously because he was already gone, but yeah. Yeah, Storms, are you planting any more before you guys get your, colder weather coming in? Are you planting beans, Shawnee? I forgot what you said you were planting. Yeah, I need more arches and arbors in my backyard. Especially because I was putting the passion vine up that tree like I've mentioned before, and the iguanas are coming down and eating it, which is ticking me off because I want it to go up flower, give me some fruit. Also, the other problem is out in the same area, not knowing that, they were going to sprout together. I had yams and didn't realize that I had baby yams, and they are now intertwining with the passion vine. But what's good about the yams is when things cool off, it'll completely dry back, like die back, that vine will. But yeah, I need more arbors or archways. I almost wish there was some way where I could just clean out the house, have somebody professionally painted, and we could move north. But then I would miss all my tropical plants. I would miss living in Florida. I wouldn't miss the hurricanes, but y'all have tornadoes up north, and they have Tornado Alley. That does not sound too great. Um, but just over the I'm not great with really cold, but I'm not good with all this heat either with the humidity. I'm not able to get out in it and do a lot of work. Although I did for that cassava, and oh my gosh, it took me a couple days to recover from that. But I had been feeling good enough to do it, but it also had to get done because the tree was blocking the way. Oh, dwarf peas, Chinese cabbage. Ooh. Oh, I think I did see my daikon radish seeds. I pulled those out. I still have one more area I've got to check, and then I've got all my seeds in the other room, the rest of them. Carrots, storage cabbage, storage kohlrabi, broccoli, fava beans. Fava beans always make me think of Silence of the Lambs. Beets, lettuce, Asian green. Whole beans fine now. What did you find out as far as do you have deer over there on the other property where you're growing a lot of this? Awesome. Yeah, I never thought I think that you can do that. I'm not sure. Hold on, with the asparagus beans because they give a really good harvest of beans. I don't know if you can use them like beans like that. use asparagus, beans, like pinto beans. We'll ask that. It's showing me now just asparagus and bean recipes. Poop asparagus, whole beans. Let me put that in there. Let me get rid of pinto. Dried beans, like a dried bean. Oh, looks like it. A lot of people like this bean, that's for sure, because it's pretty easy to grow down south. It does taste pretty similar to a green bean, but with more nutty flavor. Yeah, it's just showing me recipes for them and not showing me that you can dry the beans. Which ones are you using, Shawnee? Okay, so it was deer because I found her poop. Oh, well, at least you know. But it just seems like so like disrespectful. Like I'm gonna eat your food and then I'm gonna just take a crap here. East sides, I fertilize the trees. New growth came. Oh, good. That's what you gotta do. That's right. Good job. The cattle panel cage. Yeah, I can even get. It would be like the other wire, hardware cloth is what they call it. It's the smaller wire. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're more like an Asian bean. It's like a yard long bean, just pretty much. They call them asparagus beans. They are pretty tasty. I wouldn't mind growing them just to see if I can them just like green beans. They do taste a little bit different. I've got red mint salt in my water. But yeah, I would like to try Seminole pumpkin, and then I found, which I haven't found. Did I find? Yeah, I found both of those. I have actually no, that's the compost pile pumpkins, and I do have the daikon radish, but I don't know if it's time for that. I got to look it up. And these are a little bit. They look like I hope they didn't get. I'm gonna have to soak some of them and see if they float or sink. This is for sweet pumpkin, like the pie pumpkins. This is DTG's compost pile pumpkins. And then I have the yellow scallop squash. So all them I've got to kind of test a little bit. But I don't know if I want, again, that many runners going through my yard. Oh, okay. Just take a picture of that and look those up if you don't mind. If I can remember to look those up. I did want to do pinto. Oh, darn it. Okay. I thought I was such a ding dong. Like I know I'm getting old now. I didn't. You know how people do those fake accounts on Facebook? Yeah, I fell for one last night. Not clicking on any links or anything like that, just allowing them to be my friend. Because up at the top, it had info like this person has so many thousands of follows and everything like that. Well, they must have just somehow copy and pasted that into their information. So I didn't scroll down and see they only had like you know, two pictures. My mom used to call asparagus. That's big gas for obvious reasons. I don't think I've gotten gas from it. The strong smelling pee pee, yes. I'll have to, watch out for that now, Storms. Red cow peas, but it's not. Oh, yeah. They grow here. Don't grow cow peas. You know why? Laura grew them and they brought in the deer. They brought in the deer. So if you're going to grow them away from maybe as a trap crop to trap the deer away from your stuff. Because Laura found out they were using it as a cover crop. And lo and behold, the cover crop brought in a bunch of deer. So, you might want to try. I wish Brenda was here because she would know as far as, if that's common that they come in for the cowpeas or not. Oh, oh my. Yeah, I had one of those dads and he would just, yeah, he would, yeah. Did you hear that duck? What happened? Did you hear that frog? He would say, and the kids, of course, the younger kids did the pull my finger, but, all of us were way too old for that. But yeah, I think it's like a dad thing in certain families that just, yeah, the barking spiders. I don't know if they use that, barking spiders. I'm having some kind of allergic thing going on right now. What happened? You hurt yourself? You just ate popcorn. I just gave you popcorn. Yeah, that's your tongue. What about it? You want to come say hello? Mm-mm. Well, I'm probably going to be calling this short. No, we're not doing that. Put that down. Come here for a second. Come here. Come here. No, no, no. Come here. He's trying to turn on his breathing treatment. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm probably going to call it short. Like not going to go for the whole hour and a half today. He's starting to, I don't know, this week just seems off. I don't know if it's solar storms or what, or because we are off schedule. But yeah, he's telling me he wants more popcorn. He just had popcorn as a treat. Uh and then he was just going to turn on his lovely, oh so quiet breathing treatment, his nebulizer. I know you want more. Put it up there. You can have it after I feed you something. You got to eat something else. You had a bunch of popcorn. Kid can eat his weight in popcorn and french fries. So, yeah. But anyway, it's not even an hour yet. I really would like to get to an hour, but I also don't want to, you know, take up too much of your day when I gave you guys, the answer to if you have a child or somebody who has a child who feels like they're at wit's end in the United States or in Canada because that child is over 3 years old. It's sad that we don't have like a better pass off like they seem to, but we didn't get that because of the 2020 thing. Like, let me know in the comment section if you're watching this live and your early start program, if you did go, your child went through it, when they handed you off to say the school system, if they also gave you other options other than just the school system to get help for your child, because we didn't have that complete handoff. Like they signed us out, but I don't remember them being like, okay, well, you can do this or that because it was so long ago. Like he's 10 now. So let me know if they gave you a good handoff into those. Oh, there she is. There's our girl Duncan. Welcome in, Brenda. Duncan 1900 Homestead. Oh, your allergies too? Yeah, all of a sudden. Mine are acting up. But it could be all the watermelon I just ate. Watermelon does that to me now that I'm older. I don't know why, but I know that with watermelon, you should always eat it first, and not eat it on top of something else that takes longer to digest because of the way it digests. It can also sour food sometimes in your stomach. But yeah, to go back to it, um, yeah, did they hand you off well to maybe 211 in your community that you could call them and get help and find out who providers were in your area for your child, or, help you get hooked up with, I know they used to have it and I don't know if they still do. If your child isn't insured, they also will help you seek out or find that insurance. I think 211 will even do that, help hook you up with that. Duncan, we were trying to figure out, do cowpeas attract? Laura had a situation where she used cowpeas as a cover crop, but it brought in the deer. Have you ever had, oh, your sinuses too? Yeah, I'm starting to feel like drainage. I don't know what's going on. Have you found that cowpeas or planting out cowpeas have brought in deer? Because Shawnee's getting ready to possibly plant some, but she's not sure, first of all, if her weather's going to be warm enough, but also she's got deer that have already come around and chewed on her fruit trees. So I don't know if you've had that experience. And no worries about being late, especially if you don't feel good. No pressure. And I was wondering too, I grow those, and a lot of people do, the asparagus beans. If you've ever used or you know of anybody who's used them like a bean, or do they the bean just turns into a seed bean to reuse for the asparagus beans? Yeah, mine's just starting to drain, so I hope I don't get the congestion with it. I have to say, when I was younger, the sinus surgery was a godsend, like an absolute godsend, because I couldn't drain. I couldn't even blow my nose. I don't know what was going on up there, but I guess the swelling from having sinus allergies, and maybe it did something. Like, I didn't have polyps or anything when they checked. This was just deviated. And then when he cut back my turbinates, they're called, I could finally like drain properly. Otherwise, I was on the road to getting hospitalized because they couldn't get rid of the sinus infections that I was getting. Oh no, they ate all your corn. Darn dear. Darn it. Well, when when is it that you can put out, like, don't they have certain states that you can put out the corn for them at a certain time when what? Okay, okay. All right, I'm gonna have to go. He's acting like something's bothering him too. Is it your belly? It might be. Maybe it was too hard. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry to cut this short, but he's crying, so I'm not going to make him stand here next to me and cry and talk to you about special needs child like I've heard of other people doing, leaving their child at school with double ear infections. Yes, that's what she had. She just put up a cage around hers. All right, y'all. I will here. You want to come here? Come here, mommy. I'll hold you. Come here. No, I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. Okay. Goodbye. You're saying goodbye? Okay, Malachi said goodbye. I will see you guys hopefully Friday during the day, and we'll talk about, doing the no sugar thing. I love you, my friends who are my regulars and my friends like family. For those of you who are new, welcome in. It's that type of group. We become friends like family, and we treat each other that way. And so I hope that you can join us if you do have a special needs child and you need that support, just some place to hang out and not feel different to everybody else. Then you found your place. That's on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. That's when that chat is. On Friday, we're going to be chatting about our health, and that really applies to everybody, not just people with fibromyalgia or autoimmune issues. And then Friday night, we just hang out like friends and family and, talk the night away. So have a great day, you guys. God bless you too. And I will see you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. And thanks for the input, Shawnee, as always, and Barry and Brenda. Thank you. And everybody else in the side chat, who's in the background and in the bushes. I appreciate you just as much. Thanks so much. All right. Bye-bye now. Bye, everyone.